Hey everybody, welcome back to Adventure Time, or Disco Elysium, sorry. Alright, and I'm kind of searching for things to do. Uh, so apparently I've found all the armor pieces. There's actually one thing I wanted to try to do since it's late at night. I'm not sure if I can... Land's End. Old lady sitting in the rain at midnight, which is typical. Let's see, I'm pretty sure I know where I need to go to test this. This might be difficult, not having Kim around. Speaking of, maybe I should protect myself a little better. Those aren't the right gloves. Where are they? Oh, I already have them on. Okay. Okay. I'm as armored up as I'll be, that I'm going to get. As armored up as I will be getting.
There's some tear.
Thought it was something I could just get. Alright. I don't know, it's starting to seem like what I was thinking I could trigger, I'm not going to be able to trigger. Yeah. No, it was worth a shot. Can't get back there, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking I might as well end it tonight if I can't get... I'm trying to trigger here to do anything.
row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing, a cold sea wind.
Oh, I already looked at that. Okay. Go on the other side of that.
There's no way the perp is in here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed.
Can I try to get in, though?
Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. It's lonely and cold without points. And dangerous. Dangerous too.
Nothing more to do here, then. Hey, I got some points. It's important in a video game, right? Maybe it just doesn't matter at all. Yeah, there's something else I'm gonna need to do to trigger what I'm trying to trigger. Alright, time to go to sleep.
It's getting cold, this late in the night. Time to call it a day. The bed is comforting, if a bit run down. Still, you've earned a rest. The bed underneath you is soft, if lumpy. Waves wash the sand underneath the hut, then grow distant to your ear. In the quiet hum of the organic heater, you fall asleep.
Like a deftly cast fishing net, sleep pulls you out of the world and into its dark shore. The rough mesh chafes, tightening around you, it digs into your brain.
Dark Shore my ass. I know what this is.
How have things been going for you out there? Helped anyone lately? Saved anyone lately? Murdered anyone lately?
This bastard isn't even listening to you.
Because you know you are a murderer. A disco music listening psycho killer who offs poor people and then forgets about it.
Okay, so I'm a murderer, and that's bad.
Hear that? He doesn't even flinch. Iceman doesn't care about killing people. That's nothing to him. Blackwater, under the bridge. The thing he's really scared of is much, much worse than that.
Why are you doing this? I just want to sleep. I can almost see the dark.
We're trying to help you. All these processes, these tortures, voices and tremors are all just distractions, flares and countermeasures to keep you from the last dream, the worst of them all.
The last dream?
The last dream will be total annihilation. Cinders peeling off the fuselage. We won't be there to help you anymore, Harry. We will be dormant. You will be naked and alone.
I don't want to anymore. I don't want to think of either one of those things.
Oh, but you will. You're already going there. Slipping. How long can we keep you from the precipice? One more dream? 2 max, baby. Then it's
And the air will smell of apricots.
of hell. An ancient sadness, brother. 10,000 years later, in front of the video rental, there is a warm breath on your face again. Everything is okay again.
Everything is so okay.
Doesn't sound like it'll be okay.
Your eyelids flutter open for a moment. When you close them again, you sense the light of the room around you. You're back. In 2 seconds, the alarm will ring.
The last thought in your head before waking is, maybe you shouldn't have seen that stained glass window in the church.
Locate the working firearm. I don't think I can do that anymore. I don't have many tasks left. Quite a bit of those I can do still. Let's see. Concise introduction to infomaterialist theory, intended for a general audience. You can tell this particular copy has spent a lot of time in someone's back pocket.
The cover of this pocket-sized volume features a swirl of orange, yellow, and green. The title, A Brief Look at Inframaterialism, is set in an authoritative yet approachable serif font. What an interesting color palette. It's vibrant, yet somehow leaves you ever so slightly nauseated. On the inside jacket flap, you find a brief summary. What is inframaterialism? A highly theoretical branch of Masovian communism? A collection of mystical ramblings by a discredited revolutionary? Or possibly both? This brief look, TM, introduces readers to one of this century's most fascinating and misunderstood theories in a concise, jargon-free manner.
So far, so good.
You turn to the table of contents. The guide itself is divided into several sections with seemingly esoteric titles like Effects of Plasm on Root Vegetables and Mental Projection and Transference. There's also a brief introduction about the life of Ingus Nielsen,
Read the introduction on Angus Nielsen.
known to his numerous admirers as the evangelist of the revolution, and to his even more numerous enemies as the apocalyptic Shrike. Ingus Nielsen remains one of the most controversial and fascinating figures to emerge in the years of the anti-centennial revolution, second only to Krasmazov himself. During his unparalleled life, he helped guide a revolution in one country and found a new state in another. Along the way, he committed some of the most notorious war crimes in an era famed for its atrocities. And yet, his most fascinating contribution to history may be the most overlooked. His theory of ideological plasm, from which his followers and successors developed the school of communism known as inframaterialism.
Start reading the first chapter.
If you're like most people, you probably believe that your thoughts reside in your brain, right? That's not right at all. Thoughts don't exist in the brain. They float through the air. Your brain is but a fish, swimming through them.
I always thought I swam through them.
Very interesting. And not so far removed from Ingus Nielsen's own theories. As Mazov's devoted comrade and leading theoretician, Nielsen was responsible for developing much of the intellectual foundation of communism. But his interests and speculations were famously wide-ranging. During his final years in exile, he produced, among other things, an early guide to home brewing, instructions for raising revolutionary children, plans for a universal pictographic language, and a detailed materialist critique of Dolores Day's chess strategy. A true man of ideas, equal to any of the great DeLorean polymaths. But one subject he returned to time and time again was the fundamental relationship between thoughts and matter. We may yet discover, he wrote in his notebooks, that under certain exceptional circumstances, the proletariat's embrace of historical materialism may be so fervent that their beliefs take form in the world of matter as a kind of revolutionary plasm.
Hold on, can you put that in slightly more basic terms?
Certainly. In essence, Nielsen is arguing that thoughts don't just reside inside the brain, they radiate outward from it. According to this idea, the brain is an ideological transponder, constantly emitting waves of highly politicized energy, which Nielsen called plasm.
Whoa.
Whoa is right. What's more, Nielsen speculated that this plasm, when it becomes powerful enough, might begin to influence the material reality surrounding it. Hence the name, inframaterialism. Unfortunately, Nielsen passed away before he was able to develop these initial ideas into a full-fledged theory. That work was left to subsequent generations of communist theorists. Building on Nielsen's basic insight, these theorists reached a startling conclusion that a sufficiently revolutionary state might begin to exhibit certain extra-physical effects based on the amount of plasm generated by its citizens.
Wait, so this isn't even Nielsen's theory, it's his followers?
Correct, though certain particulars of the theory are commonly attributed to Nielsen himself. The evidentiary basis of those attributions has always been a point of contention between inframaterialists and their critics.
So these people are saying that if enough people just believe in communism, it will come true?
The actual theory is highly technical, but for the purposes of this brief look, TM, that's a fine working definition of the concept.
That's because this is absolute idiocy, not even worth engaging.
No. There's something here. You can feel it.
Alright, let's hear some more about this extra physical stuff.
Inframaterialists divide the extra-physical effects of the revolutionary state by the level of plasm required to achieve them. At the lowest, or first level, revolutionary plasm is believed to stimulate or invigorate matter without altering its essential properties.
Sounds like that business with the turnips.
Precisely, though plasm does more than increase vegetable yields. It may also influence the physiology of revolutionaries themselves. It's also been postulated that plasm may account for the remarkably full and manly facial hair observed on some communist males.
Stroke your bare chin.
Your hand feels clammy against your bare chin. You wipe it along the back of the book and keep reading. Of course, inframaterialists argue that revolutionary plasm may stimulate human physiology in other ways as well. In fact, reports from the revolutionary period claim that the most radically devoted communards were able to engage in vigorous intercourse for up to 8 hours at a time. 8 hours? There's no way. Your equipment would be mashed to jelly. No wonder the communards couldn't shoot straight. They were too shagged out. Hyper-productive vegetables and ultra-horny communards are fine. But this theory hasn't quite gotten strange enough for you. And on that note, you feel like you've gotten the general idea of inframaterialism, enough to carry on a basic conversation at least. But if you'd like to go even deeper into some of the more speculative aspects of the theory, you could always read further. Of course you want to go deeper. What else are you here for? The book fits quite snugly into your palm. It would also fit comfortably into a jacket pocket.
I'll put it away for now. Now basically I just need to go back to the meeting. Okay. I was just going through. There's so much stuff I haven't done in this game. It's kind of amazing. So, first... Good morning, Kim. First, I'm going to go back to the church. I'm just holding cocaine. I want to put that back. Speed, I guess. It's not really cocaine. Even though cocaine's a form of speed. I've actually completed all the... her to talk about her associates. So I've done all that. Okay, I guess I have done everything I need to do here. At least everything I'm aware of. So now I need to go back into town and talk to Everett. I am going to need to do some more of his dirty work, but I can pull a dirty trick of my own. That's the first sign that he isn't a real cop, is he runs everywhere. No cop would actually be in a hurry to get anywhere. Unless they see the Krispy Kreme fresh donut sign. Can I talk to this guy?
Officer, care to play a game with the lonely old man? Actually, never mind. Wouldn't be the same.
Where's Renee?
The prick is gone. I can barely believe it. But he's really gone.
He is trying to retain his jolly facade, but the underlying sadness casts a deep shadow over his wrinkled face.
Gone? Gone where?
Hell, most likely. He was an absolute Kent.
How did he die exactly?
His hungry little heart finally gave out. The dock workers found him in the guard booth this morning. Wasn't even supposed to be working for another week, but he just had to prove how tough he is.
Wait, did he push himself to prove he can pull his weight and doesn't need handouts?
Guess he was about to head home, 'cause when the dock workers found him, he was wearing civilian clothes and not the Kuketu uniform I saw him in all the time. Sometimes I thought he was wearing it just to piss me off. Now the joke's on him, 'cause he's gonna be buried without it.
That means the uniform could still be in the guard booth. Something to keep in mind if you really plan to give yourself to Revachol.
Do you think our conversation about his job pushed him to go out there?
No. René was the most stubborn man in Revachol. Nothing you or I could say would ever push him to do anything. The man was completely immovable.
He has doubts, but right now he just wants to move on and not think about it.
Is he really that bad?
I repeat, an absolute Kent. Even his old army buddies didn't want him around. He was like an old viper. The only people who could stand to be around him were Jenny and me. She saw something in him when we were just kids, and she never lost sight of it. And I thought if the most beautiful being in the world can love him, then there must be something worth holding on to.
Did you love him?
We've hated each other our entire lives. So much, in fact, that... Yes, I loved that angry prick. He didn't deserve it, but I did. You know what his last words to me were?
It's really sad. Something forgettable, like see you tomorrow, probably.
In Guillaume's time, you'd have been shot without trial. That's what he said to me. He lived a Kent, and he died a Kent. Let's leave it at that.
Do you know what happened to his medals?
I took them for myself. Took them to remember that old Kent. Nobody knew him better than I did. And I want to remember that old Kent by something.
Strange how old cunt sounds almost gentle when he says it now.
I offer my sincere condolences.
Yes, we are both very sorry for your loss.
It is what it is. Part of life, really. But to know someone for 79 years, then one day they're just gone. I just don't know anymore. About anything, really. But you must need something.
I wanted to go over a few more things about Renee, if that's okay.
Yes? What about René?
Yes,
It is... I just don't know anymore. Officer, I just can't...
I can't try to get a sandwich anymore.
Wow, so someone's been a little boring.
What?
Yes, my standard liege. Someone's seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown.
Kim, am I boring?
you? I wouldn't worry about that.
See? You're so regular and vinyl brown, he doesn't even want to talk to you about it.
What is this, picking on me for not being crazy enough? That's the least of my
No
concerns.
need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very standard appeal.
Look, I'm just trying to do my job. No need for extravagance.
Of course you do. Let's get right to it. My lord's coppo type is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax.
Yeah, no need. Let's keep that announcement on standby for now.
Good, good. Of course. To outright declare yourself something does seem a bit too interesting now, doesn't it? I won't trouble you any further.
Already a superstar cop. There's nothing boring about a superstar cop. Let's see if I can take the sandwich again.
Oh, sorry.
Host on my...
I'm gonna check to see if his uniform's here.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. René left his uniform neatly folded on the table. Take it. It's just there. Who cares? It's not like anyone's gonna need it. Generally speaking, it would be dishonorable to take it. But then, it looks like a military uniform, and wearing that is very honorable. So, a conflict of honor, it's up to you.
I suppose René is not going to be needing it anymore. It's a bit too colorful for my taste, though.
This is gonna take my shit to the next level.
Fantastic. Try not to wear it with other similarly colorful clothes, okay?
Reflective construction vest. Laborer jeans. +1 to Ravasholian nationhood. Proud nationalist. +1 reaction speed.
You're back before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. Despite the dirt that surrounds and trails you, a beacon of light emerges from deep within you.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
The door stands silent.
Satisfied, detective?
Try again.
If someone's in there, I'd like to talk to you.
Just like that, you hear a click, then a rattle. Some mechanism unlocks itself inside the door.
Ahoy! Come on in!
You can't be serious.
Kim's not gonna like this.
The man stands at the far end of the shipping container. It's hard to say anything more about him. You cannot make out any of his details, but you do feel the overwhelming presence of capital. The feeling causes all the hairs on your body to stand at attention, like soldiers preparing for review. Something's amiss. The light beams bend around his face and scatter in 1,000 directions. It seems the laws of physics do not apply here. They are suspended, distorted, and echo. Trying to visualize the physics at play is liable to give you an aneurysm. Don't think about it too hard. In the general stillness, only your tongue moves, flickering as you utter.
Hello?
Welcome. Come in. Make yourself at home. Sorry, I'm not better able to receive you. I wasn't expecting visitors today.
You can't hear him exactly, yet you're able to understand every word he says. It is very strange. An overwhelming hum covers everything. Voice doesn't escape from him.
Now, what can I do for you, gentlemen?
Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I haven't been asked that question for such a long time. I don't meet a lot of people outside my circle these days. Anyhow, my name is Rustam Diodore, investor, license holder, and extremely high net worth individual. And you are?
Mr. Diodore, I am Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi of the RCM, and this is my partner.
Harrier Dubois.
Pleasure to meet you, Harrier Dubois. I must admit, the name suits you very well.
How did you become so rich?
Oh lord, not this again.
What's the matter, Kim?
Oh, nothing. It's just that we've got this murder to solve, and yet you go around asking everyone about money. And every time I ask, are you sure this is related to the case, you say, sure, Kim, I think it is. And yet, it never seems to get us any closer to solving the case.
It's quite alright. I'm used to the question by now. To be blunt, I inherited my fortune from my grandmother, who herself was an extremely high net worth individual back in Grad. All I did was take her fortune and invest it prudently. Believe it or not, it takes more than a bit of skill not to blow a vast fortune on sailing boats, bad choices, and unsupervised state policy.
Actually, at the level this guy is, it takes several generations to do that. But, alright.
What's it like being an extremely high net worth individual?
I gotta tell you, at first, being rich is a lot of work. You've got to work hard because everything's so darn expensive. You know, prices increase exponentially at this income level. But then, once you've reached my position, it's nearly impossible for me not to make money. My assets are so diversified that I'm bound to come out ahead no matter what. Some of my lower net worth friends say to me, but doesn't that take all the fun out of it? And I tell them, not really.
It's great that you've done so well for yourself, but don't you think you owe some of that wealth to the rest of society?
Sure. And they benefit when I buy things to stimulate the economy. Do you know how many jobs it takes to build and maintain a racing yacht?
Hundreds?
Dozens, at least. Of course, in the future, it'll all be automated. But my point is this. Every man gets what he earns. It's the height of tyranny to take that from him. Capital makes one speechless, does it not? Blinds like the sun that rises from beyond the horizon after a gloomy winter.
Hey, all this talk about money has made you lose the thread. What is going on with the light in this place? That's what you need to ask him about.
There's something strange about you.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to put it. You look somehow a little different.
Are you talking about my chin?
No, I mean, I can't even see you. It's as if something is happening to the light.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yes, I've heard of this effect, though I've never witnessed it myself, of course. It has something to do with our Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient.
The Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient is a ratio designed to reflect the difference in net worth between individuals. When the coefficient is close to 1, or 100%, it means one person possesses all the net worth among that group of individuals. It's been observed that when the Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient reaches about 0.96 or so, the laws of physics begin to bend around the high net worth individual.
So what's our coefficient?
The Weiss-Wiesemann coefficient for you and this individual appears to be 0.9998, repeating. That's not good for you.
Are you telling me that you are so rich that light literally bends around your face?
Among other things. But calm down. I'm but a lowly single-digit billionaire.
Really?
No, not really. There are actually quite many digits.
A man this chill is at least a triple-digit billionaire.
Kim, are you also seeing this weird stuff?
I see nothing of the sort. To be frank, all I see is a gentleman who's unusually well dressed for Martinez, in a cargo container with which I admit is odd.
Yes, I imagine that does look strange to you. My container.
What are you doing in this container anyway?
Traveling. This is a great way to get around. It's fun, it's safe, and it gives me lots of time to think. By the way, let me now ask you a question. Where are we exactly?
We're in Martinez. There's a cool church here.
Was it Krasmazov that said, religion is parolidon for the masses? He may have been a commoner, but we're in agreement about that. Still, I imagine the architecture is quite lovely. It's a shame I can't get out and explore myself. One of the downsides of being an extremely high net worth individual is that mobs of low net worth individuals are constantly banding together to ask for money.
Wait, why don't you help them? You've got so much money, it can't make a difference to you.
There simply aren't enough hours a day to hand out all the handouts. It's like feeding seagulls. There are always more, and they never seem to do anything interesting with it, except more seagulls. Spending money is a matter of desire. I'm sure you agree. I don't have the desire for spending it like that.
So you travel from place to place via shipping container?
Smart, no? It also provides a means to hide from all the targeted advertising we extremely high net worth individuals are constantly subjected to. Luxury yachts, high fidelity portable radio systems, fail-proof outerwear, and so on. It just gets a bit middle class after a while. A bit bourgeois.
Oh, so you're saying being rich isn't worth the hassle?
What? No, I didn't say that at all. Being rich is great. Just don't tell anyone I told you that.
The bending light appears to wink. So you're a rich investor, right? Can I have some money?
Could you please stop asking people for money? It does not reflect well on the RCM, and to be perfectly frank, we can't afford to look worse than we already do.
But Kim, I also can't afford to look any better than I do now. That's why I need money.
It's perfectly alright. Based on your appearance, I can tell I'm dealing with a smart man. As you may know, us high net worth individuals do not have a lot of cash on hand.
Yeah.
Investments and liquidity are enemies of one another. I think I only have coins for coffee machines. Here is 3 real. How much can you get for this?
Gets me almost nothing.
That's the idea, my friend. You've got to work for the rest. Maybe you can make that money grow. Come up with an investment plan. How's that sound?
These ultra-liberal types love losing huge sums of money on ludicrous proposals. Ergo, you should come up with a plan that's totally dead in the water. Congratulations. You've somehow managed to fail at failing, which means, in a strange way, that you've succeeded.
You should invest in a youth center.
A youth center, huh? What kind of youth center?
A place to train buff kids. A place to teach them practical skills like teamwork and self-discipline. Come on, tell him what he wants to hear.
One dedicated to instilling liberal economic values in children from low net worth families.
Brilliant. Without children, who'll be there to buy stuff in the future?
Yes, and if it doesn't work out, we can always repurpose the center as a shopping mall or a private equity firm.
When life closes a door, it opens a window, yes? What's the expected return on this?
Highly educated, work-ready human capital, ready to be directed toward any number of your vast interests.
You're deep into ultra-liberal territory now. Good work.
Very impressive. You've got a natural eye for unusual investment opportunities.
Thank you.
I don't normally do this without a formal pitch deck, but to hell with it. What's the point of being rich if you have to follow all the rules? Here's the round of seed funding. This should be enough to prove out the concept and get things off the ground.
Damn, now I'm a rich communist.
Ratan, now's your chance to take some time off. Spend it with your good buddy and get absolutely wrecked in the process.
Sorry, man, I'm an investor now. I have to stay sober to calculate risks.
What is this shit? Calculating risks? Ratan! The risks you can't calculate are the only ones worth taking!
I'm sorry, I just don't see the return on investment on that.
The lieutenant looks at you with horror. You've been mumbling to your necktie in a daze for several minutes.
Ah, yes. Now you're displaying it. The eccentricity that becomes a wealthy individual.
Thank you for placing your unwavering trust in me.
Remember, it's not a handout. It's an investment. And I expect to see returns.
Sure.
The lieutenant stands there, dumbfounded. His mouth opens slightly, then closes again. Is he having a stroke?
Kim, are you alright?
Yes, I'm alright. Can we get going now?
Now, was there anything else I could help you gentlemen with?
We should get back to our investigation. Thanks for your time.
The pleasure was mine. Unfortunately, I must be away soon. The next time we meet, I'll be expecting an update on my investment. Farewell, friend, and may your peace of mind guide you to happiness.
Date of birth generator. You were born in the year 07, in the last year of the commune of Revachol, right before it fell, in the old military hospital on the ground floor, where people usually came to die during a snowstorm. The revolution had about 1 year left to go, and the fires were still burning bright. There were explosions in the blizzard. This was 44 years ago. You are 44 years old. The bloating might never leave your face, but beneath it, you still have some years. You still have some hope.
Well, I've got some money now. 100 smackers. It's not a bad deal. And I met the man who was so infused with capitalism that it altered the very light surrounding him. Doesn't it give the ultra-materialist viewpoint a little more, maybe it's because he's already accepted the ultra-materialist viewpoint, which is why he can see the light bending while Kim couldn't.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
Remember the container I asked you about? Turns out there's a mega rich guy bending light inside.
Mega rich light bending guy? Oh my god. How did that get in there?
He's so rich he could get in anywhere. A slime like him must have oozed through the cracks.
Damn it to hell, Harry. I specifically told my guys to check all the containers for mega rich light bending guys.
Kim, tell him he was there.
There was a guy in the container. But he didn't bend any light. That was in the detective's head.
Honestly, guys, we might be moving all kinds of suspicious things through this harbor, but I won't be caught transporting the light bending mega rich. I have a reputation to protect.
Yes, for God's sakes, you're a socialist.
You're right, Harry. I am a socialist. I'm going to catch the mega-rich guy inside the container and harvest his energy to power the harbor's fog lights. I shudder to think what you're going to tell me next, Harry.
Not for 1 second did he believe there's an actual mega-rich person somewhere in his container town.
I may have changed my mind about getting those signatures.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here, you need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I heard there was some trouble with the waterlock, but it should be fixed now. Once you have the signatures, Mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I'll know you're a solid socialist.
So I can't just lie about getting the signatures yet. I've got to actually spend some time pretending to get them. Sure head's still up here.
Your race descent has only worsened since I last saw you. You have really let yourself go.
Why are you not with the Hardy Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, these so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He is usually more himself.
But you're all part of the union?
The Hardy manlets are on the pay of the company. I answer to the union alone. And I do this out of race heroism. Finance is an alien concept to the Simonees. Now leave me be. I must luxuriate in the company of my woman.
There's more to it. What have you got against them?
Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a possibly sexually perverted female vagrant and a narcotics peddler. It's shameful.
Who do you mean?
Find out for yourself. Endomorphic blob.
Interesting.
Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Measurehead, I'm new to this world. Help me understand its races. I need to know what kind of different races there are.
Do you?
This is for the thing.
What thing? We already got in the harbor. You just want to hear about races, don't you?
You are obviously a liberal, Sayolite. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth you have denied yourself. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on?
Type A.
Those are the Simonees, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema to the point where they find it impossible to smile. They are all lactose intolerant, a common result of inbreeding. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats.
So it's like how people argue over who's white or not, like the Italians and the Irish. Wait, who exactly are the Maun?
You know them by the names of their nation states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians, and the Königsteiners. My people simply call them Maun.
Mahun is a derogative term for First World people of Gotwaldian descent. They do not all have eczema. Also, people of Katla, like the Suru and the Huhu, are much more lactose intolerant.
With wooden clogs, though?
In some municipalities of Oranje, people do wear shoes made of wood to street parades. Green, orange, and even yellow tassels have also been seen on hats.
The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace whom no one can take seriously.
Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too.
Okay, got it. Who are the Type A then, in your view?
The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the Suren of Sur-la-Clé, and even the North Königsteiners, all have Type A race propensities. The other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist, but they have a glandular problem. Overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only produces more sebum.
And who are the Seminese and Europegites in this?
As proven by the Maun and the Mesk, Occidental Type A is in retrograde. The Seminese and the Areopagite are on the ascent.
And the Seminese are...
The indigenous people of this, the Insulindian archipelago. The Seminese inhabit the southern islands. I am Seminese, from the stock of Ulmbuir on Ile de Fantôme.
And the Europegites?
The Areopagites are the master race of the Ile Maran deserts. The Seminese are descendants of the Areopagites. We came here during a heroic migration from Ile Marat to Ansuland, thousands of years before the lactose-intolerant Maun Reten Occidentals discovered this place.
Wait, didn't Il Maran desert pygmies invent alcohol and get pillaged just a short while ago?
Weren't the Illimarians pillaged by my people, and then Al Ghul happened and all that?
No, those were scimitar-wielding race losers of Zahrava, Izzet, and Bashir, with their Himmi servants. Big difference. The Areopagites were fasting and conquering while this happened. You never penetrated the western dunes.
Jean, baby, you're on fire.
I know, Bay.
What's the difference between the Seminese and Europegites?
The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Seminese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls. The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite, or Simeopagite super race. That is all. There are no more Type A races in the world.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B?
Type B are the unheroic races, amorphous non-competitors of the great race. The Khoikos and the Vacholier, they are mud-colored people.
The Khoikos of Grad, Yugo, Zhimsk, Shest et al. are what you would call white, officer in a suspect description.
You said Kochos. Kochkos. I've been trained to identify them as white in official descriptions.
Yes. To an untrained eye, the Koiko appear white and pinkish, like a ham sandwich. But look into their eyes and you will see. They are of an indistinct color, and so is their skin. Unhealthy, muddy, and ashen. Pinkness is a racial quality that has to be earned through centuries of advanced ballistic warfare and cultural domination that the Grad people have undergone for drinking Al Rul and smoking the degenerate tobacco herb, and for eating potato. The Koiko, the countless micronationalities of Grad, are all inexplicably obsessed with potat. The only thing they like more is dividing into microscopic ethnostates, like political amoeba.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
And you don't like ethnostates?
They are microscopic. The Semeno-Areopagite superstate will cover the entire remaining planetary crust, uninterrupted. From Holy Semenine to the Boreal Plateau of Katla. Its leaders will be the genetic epitome of the Semenese and Areopagite stock, elected by nature, not the base inner spoilage called demos.
And the Vacholiers you mentioned?
The Vacholians, halfway between Type A and the Racial called Ron. Two mixed to know right from wrong. You tried your degenerate little revolution, which was the single greatest failure committed by humans in our 82,000-year history on this planet.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening. But that seems a little off.
Pretty sure history hasn't lasted that long.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive Chespius.
I've heard about this revolution. Mistakes were made, but it was the right stuff. You're wrong about it.
The revolution came to Ravachol from Grad, in Zaraz-ridden potato carts. It is literally an illness, a prion disease that leaves the parietal and frontal lobe ridden with holes. A soft, sponge-like mass of dementia, hallucination, and paranoia. The revolution is fatal familial insomnia. A hereditary prion condition passed from the Koiko to the Occidentals. But not sexually. Probably through trade roots and potate acid, the prime component of the potato plant. Enough of Tibet mediocrity.
The vile C-F race cauldron of pedestry, please.
Tips CF are a museum of failed chimeric experiments and tragic maladaptations. They are tortured creatures waiting to be put to sleep. Your morbid interest in them worries me.
Chimeric experiments?
Lesser races like the mosquito, a grotesque mixture of a masked woman and a Semenese man. Only possible if the mother is masked and the father Semenese. The other way around, they fail to produce offspring. The mosquito is born sterile, like a donkey. All they have left is to ride customized motor carriages with hydraulic suspension, listening to aggressive El Mariachi music to vent their impotent despair.
It seems unlikely that two human beings produce genetically sterile offspring.
Maybe I misunderstood something, but aren't humans too similar to produce genetically sterile offspring?
You are right. You have misunderstood. You lack basic phylogenetic education.
The sage will not budge on this.
Anymore?
Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki Chimera? It is not an aesthetic site.
Yeah, sure.
The Koiko, as you know, are very servile, especially when they meet the rich man. Racial scientists have toyed with the idea of crossing the Simonese with the Koiko to produce a super worker of Simonese strength and great servility. This will never happen. The Simonese and the Koiko may have similar interbreeding problems as the mosquito. We will never know precisely. No Simonese man could maintain an erection in the suffocating potato stench of a Koiko woman, or Koika. But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of Type F. Were there any able-bodied races you needed education on?
Now that we've been through all the types, do I understand advanced race theory?
You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery, let alone solved it.
How do I word the mystery?
You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly.
Let's discuss something
I
else.
cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vasholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
Yeah, why not? Let's talk about that. Alright, I'm out of here. I don't have enough. Yeah, I need to unlock or forget something. I also need a skill point to forget something. So I might as well unlock a new thing. Alright, can't do that until later. Two signatures. Right. Two signatures. Anything else I can talk to this guy about?
Looking for something?
What was that argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Second thought, let's talk about something
Suit
else.
yourself, officer. Hide your face in the sand if you so wish.
Oh, look. It's the cop who turned me into a bad person.
Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Hey Tommy, spill the beans. What's troubling you?
Man, nothing's troubling me. Just the usual Lorman tropes and hopes. The road and the rhymes. This jam ain't helping either.
That all the beans you got, Tommy? Damn, it really is hard to talk, man to man.
Well, I also have money, so one thing I can do, this might take a little time. I don't even know what this thing is.
The red cable is
Has to do with the fridge stuff. This way is where I want to go.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Shivers. Need more shivers. Okay, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Tell me about your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm a star myself, a superstar, and superstars don't care about money.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice, made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet, to complement your magnetic personality?
pieces of lodestone were used as the first magnetic compasses, from which they derived their other name, coarse stones. That's a stone for leaders.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
Do magnetic dice even roll properly?
It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do.
It's a deal.
Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard. During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off the work when you to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
I have more questions about the building.
I'm listening.
Or maybe I don't. I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
So you're telling me the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I saw the name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Hey, come on, man.
His disdain for pinball could not be clearer.
A strange thing happened when I tried calling the company named Slipstream CSA, or SCA. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
Well, first it wasn't Plaisance. I know her and I would have recognized her voice.
Oh, right. But did this person say anything?
She said she was from Tricentennial Electric.
Tricentennial Electrics? It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No, it was something else. It was eerie. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
No, it was something else. Something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie. Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity. Sure, I'm listening. Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
My shivers are only one? I don't think I have anything that'll raise shivers. I don't think I have anything that gives me a bonus, but for physique. That's what helps physique. I don't think I have anything that'll help with shivers. Because basically that's just how close you are. I could be wrong. That's why I'm checking. Oh, that gives me shivers. That gives me shivers. Nothing else does. Well, it's better than nothing.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
Now I'm at 42% even. Let's see if we can pass this.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here. She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
Alright, well, I'll come back later. Guess I better bring out the flashlight again. Just a long area. Sorry about the noises.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Shopkeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
Do I have friends?
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
I don't feel as if I have any kids.
Friends are technically like family. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
Sounds great. So what are these rural things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense. Nonsense for anemic Beano-clads.
I want to buy the Wirral game.
If you say so, but you better stay away from those immoral occult rituals. Wonderful choice, sir. A wholesome family game.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess. Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like, thanks for helping out. Not me. The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
Wait, where'd you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask. I got it from behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
Is it a fedora?
Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time. You'll look way more serious with that. Right, I have to get back to my homework now, before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
Okay, bye. See you around, Annette.
The display rack is... This is entirely, completely you. You have found the right books.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
Alright. Well, I got plenty of books to pass the time now. And board games.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime fiction. These books greatly over. Furthermore, what's more, not a single mention of all the stress. The shelves filled to the brim with crime novels.
Okay. Not gonna let me pick anything. Okay.
Shelves full of biographies of browsing through all suddenly high-speed love next to that Rivasholian.
I really...
She understands.
I'm sorry, I did not...
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
Indeed. Something about that book does seem to have spoken to you. Well, I hope it contains what you're looking for.
Alright. I think I've spent enough time in the bookstore.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime.
Card.
You keep coming back.
If he really wants to save the economy, he'd let you pay with net worth. Go over and ask him if you can. The speaker, you should go over and ask him about paying for those sneakers with your net worth.
Everything's still cool here, officer. Me?
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago in the Samaran Isola.
You're from the Apricot Suzerainty, aren't you?
As if you've committed some faux pas. Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I meant to say you're from Seaguy.
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism. But the Apricot Suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Right, but isn't it only a shithole because of Revachol?
If you say so, officer. I don't worry too much about politics. I'm an entrepreneur, you know. Whatever's good for business is good for me.
Alright.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest. All the old
The street light.
typical Martinez street light sits among.
I can't pay $700 for that. Ridiculous. Thought my money problems were over. I don't really want to buy those sneakers either. I might end up buying them, but not right now.
A brisk coastal wind still howls against the window of the shack. Occasionally, the waves crawl in under the foundation, producing a low hum. The room feels muffled, like you pulled your hat over your ears. Outside, it is cold and windy, but you're inside, and it feels safe and warm.
What is this place to you?
A possible resting spot for my fugitive is what it is.
Waves crash onto the beach, drowning the reeds. Far to the south, a congregation gathers to a soup kitchen in a shelter for the homeless. An old woman gives out knitted scarves for free. Far to the southeast, 2 men and a woman dress themselves in ceramic armor. A shortwave radio hisses on the windowsill. One makes a salute, the other downs a drink. Weapons under the bed. A middle-aged man stands in a rundown shack on the edge of a fishing village. Nothing nods. No one salutes him. No sight of the fugitive.
This feels like a cozy hideout.
Who are you talking to? There is no one here. Not even cold.
Thank you, strange sensation, for a fair assessment of the current situation.
Outside, the howl of the wind has picked up. The waves crash against the stilts again. It's as if you think the thought, but in someone else's voice.
Revachol forever.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see your reflection in it. The expression fixed to your clean shape.
It was trying to tell me something, but I didn't pick it up. Dick Mullins had it.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum.
Look at the zoning plan.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center. This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite. There doesn't seem to be anything of interest here. No fine print. You're smart. You can read. You take the legal doc.
I need to raise my level. How am I supposed to do that? I'm almost out of things to do.
Tequila Sunset.
The legend! He's back! Don't call, Abigail! Don't call!
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other...
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I was asked to get your signature.
Eh? What's this about? Come now, I can't read all this scribble. Tell me what it says.
Everard wants to turn part of the village into a little youth center.
Huh. I might be half blind, but it looks like part of the village is gonna be a street. The best part. The part we need to get out of our houses. Have you asked Lillian about this? I won't even consider signing till I know she's on board.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
I was asked to get your signature.
Were you? This says by signing, I agree to living with construction noise. What exactly is the Union building?
Everard's planning to turn some of the village into a youth center.
What a nice idea. Wouldn't have thought that...
She sounds incredulous about the niceness of the idea.
About what exactly?
That Everard and the Union have nice plans for anything. I thought they only cared about themselves. Well, I guess Union members have children too.
And those members have a vote when electing the head of the local chapter.
Here, use my pen.
He has a pen and everything. Here you go.
Wait, why did you sign it?
I shouldn't have.
I mean, it's Everard, so it's probably a mistake.
Probably, but it is a youth centre and I have children. Got to give them something else to do. They're cute and small now, but they're growing up fast. I had my first drink when I was 11 because I was so bored. Anyhow, you also need Isabel's signature. If it's a bad idea, she won't sign. You'll find she's a tougher nut to crack than me.
Sound logic. Division of labor. She leaves the skepticism to the skeptic.
I don't know about that. She said all she needs is you to sign it, so...
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
Got Lillian's signature. Will you sign the papers now?
Lillian should let her sword make her decisions. The girl just doesn't have the head for it. Either way, I won't sign.
Wait, you promised.
You need to check your facts, officer. I said no such thing.
True. She only said she wouldn't even consider signing before Lillian.
So this was a test?
Aye. Lillian's not the only one who's too trusting.
She wanted to see if you would do it, and if she would do it.
What do you have against the Union?
I've seen it all before. You think they've got our interests at heart? Rich men are always selling poor men promises we never planned to keep. Then the poor get pushed out of their homes, and the rich get a little richer. That's the way it goes. So, no, I don't trust the fat man, and neither should you.
In her mind, the Union is right-wing because Everard is fat. It's that simple, and there's no changing it. She is headstrong, but there's a slight hesitation in there. You may be able to convince her. Logic and reason won't work on this old bat. Better go for shameless emotional manipulation. What's the grandmother's deepest vulnerability? Does this feel like a good thing, though? The grandmother card will do the trick. Last chance to turn back.
What's gonna happen to Lillian's kids, the twins and little Lily?
What do you mean? What's going to happen? They are gonna grow up, of course. I raised my own kids in this village, and they are doing fine for themselves.
They didn't end up like moribund alcoholics?
No, they are good kids. I brought them up the right way.
Are they here now?
No, they moved to Faubourg for work.
And what do you think Lillian's kids are gonna do when they grow up?
Well, I imagine they'll grow up and leave too.
You've got her. Now just reel her in.
And then what?
Then?
You have her. Now twist the knife. Wait. Let her come to it herself.
I don't believe the Fat Man's Youth Center is going to change anything. But what other choice do we have? It's not like the coalition government is coming to save us. I won't be around much longer anyway. Not with the dampness in my bones. If they want to take a chance, who am I to stop them?
You've got to put the kids first.
Aye, we do. We do. But how do we do that?
You can start by signing these papers. I've got a pen right here.
Reluctantly, she takes the pen from your hand, scribbles her name on the line, and hands everything back to you.
See that you didn't just get us all screwed. I might be half blind, but I have a good memory for treachery.
Let's go mail it.
He's not dissatisfied with you, but with himself.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help?
You take the legal documents out of the envelope, a 12 to 40 month construction period, and the zoning plan in the addendum. It's signed by Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter.
Cam, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things, and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
No other way, huh? Wish I hadn't failed that check to see if there was a loophole. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get a chance to try it again. Those are those little things that you could always kind of save scum to figure out, but it feels kind of cheap in a game like this. Where is the mailbox anyway? In the plaza. Front of the building. Is this the mailbox?
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito, bullet holes, and an RCM sticker.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox for something.
Other than kicking?
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon. For good or ill. The deed is done.
Let's go back to Everard. This better be worth it after what we did.
So a lot of this playthrough is set up for the next one. Because most of the stuff we can't do until night. Like meeting with the communists and other things. I don't think we have to deal with Everard anymore after this. Man, it's snowing like crazy. I'd like to see someone do a speed run of this game. furiously clicking, trying to make him run fast. Any percent, that'd be pretty easy. Just kill yourself, and it's game over. You won.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
It's done. I mailed the signatures that you asked me to mail.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry. Of course. I already knew this. My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a future and proven to be a true man of the left. I can finally trust you now. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Hear that? You did it the honest way. You got the real signatures, and now he's happy. Well done. I don't know. Your dirty forgery fingers aren't sure if playing this one straight was the right thing to do. We would have preferred trickery, but the choice was yours, sire. As always. You are the liege, and you're in. Finally, answers. Ask away, son.
What was the fine print on the document I mailed? What was the catch?
There was no fine print, Harry. But I do hope all that construction noise and limited street access encourages some people to move. After a year of that ruckus, who wouldn't?
Oops. Yes. The noise would do the trick. It'll be terrible.
And when they do, they will have a good place to go. I'm currently working on renovating the buildings near the roundabout into affordable workers' palaces.
He proudly spreads his hands to demonstrate the size of the palaces. They're very large.
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my words, officers, we are going to reset it. Reset! I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in those pig sheds on the coast. That land will be used for municipal buildings and commerce.
What do you mean?
Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with enterprise and life. All those ruins out there turned into low-income housing. Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on.
A youth supermarket church complex? You really expect me to believe that?
Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too. The wheels are already turning, Harry. The wheels of progress. This post-war limbo, I won't stand for it. There are kids practically playing with their own feces out there. It cannot go on.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks about the state of things, and even a touch of pain. The pain is true. He's seen kids do worse than that. And then there will be a giant statue of him towering above it all.
Wait, but you'll erect a statue to yourself?
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be Martinez rebuilt. 5-story building complexes, kids off speed, and landowners in a zone hating me. That will be my statue. And yours. We're doing this together.
I knew you were up to something.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier. That's my job. Just like yours is to keep the peace. There was no fine print, Harry. But I do hope all that construction...
Oops.
And when they do...
He proudly...
So the village is...
You were there. You reset. Harry. Harry, enough is en... Yes, I do.
There is true the pain, and then...
I'm not a symbolist. Damn right I'm up to...
A true flash of anger in him, as he thinks of her.
Did you order the hanged man killed?
Order it? You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have had to do it myself. And I'm too fat for that.
Why are you so fat?
Glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes because sugar and fat was all my mother had to give me and my brother Edgar when we were kids. Good job too, as it made me ugly. And ugly people, Harry, are much better at politics.
That is true. People don't trust pretty people.
What do you gain from him being dead?
Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
They're trained military people. Aren't you afraid of your men?
Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
How is this connected to the strike?
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait, is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that big crane, even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
Why are you telling me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
Who killed the hanged man?
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the guy, give him a big fat kiss from Everard Clare. Couldn't have done it without him.
He really doesn't know. A guy, huh?
How do you know it was a guy?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. Or maybe he killed himself because he was a closet socialist. Truth is, I simply don't know.
He really doesn't.
How many of you guys are there in the Union?
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
How are you going to fund your new independent harbor?
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything.
Clients would take a well-known multinational conglomerate over a local mobster any day.
You can't possibly continue to cope to continue like you have. Clients will leave en masse.
Sure, some will go, but mark my words. The company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samarin Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
That's just the top of the iceberg, though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column. We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
He's basically admitting to it.
Is Ruby helping you secure this fantastic share?
Harry, if I was supplying raw materials to drug manufacturers, I would need an army of rubies.
Understood.
Makes sense to regulate the drug trade like this. Keeps it out of more dangerous hands.
Oh, Harry, you've misunderstood. I have no drugs in my hands. It's all far removed from me, like some half-remembered dream. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbour's turnover, just like the harbour is, but a small part of Martinez. Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
Hold on, I don't want to look at the big picture. I want to look at the drug trade you almost admitted to.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. The hypothetical raw materials trade is off the table. It's such a small and insignificant slice of revenue, I'm cutting it. Boys. Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering?
It's very ambitious. I love what you're doing for the working man.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
Can I ask you about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry.
There's something different about him now. He's more vibrant, more alive in his big-time mode.
Can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me. But it had to be done.
You bastard.
Your gun is with an old woman. I hear she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as terrifying.
So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy?
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway...
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it. He winks at you. Don't worry, Harry.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
She was waving it around at people?
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
So who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
There it is again. The Pigs. Like Roy said, not good at all.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
It actually sounds extremely bad, but let's not give him the satisfaction.
Can you set up a meeting?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
She will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union. This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open. I'm always happy to educate and very nice.
Alright. Well, that concludes a lot of things that were up in the air. And another thing I need to do here. Lock. This one. Plus, I'm pretty close to getting another level, so I can always change it if I need to.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy man being an important police officer and all, and personally, I think the more people keeping the peace, the better.
Leo, you seem to know everybody around here. I want to ask about someone.
Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
Who's this Edgar guy you keep mentioning?
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revachol, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everett's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Safra. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safra? A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made, too. The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
Tell me about Manana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everett sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Oil for the wheels. Much needed in stressful times like these.
Tell me about Measurehead.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
That's precisely what he is. Everart's dragon.
Tell me about the guy in the container.
Who do you mean, mister?
You do realize he might just be a figment of your imagination, right?
The fancy guy in the suit in the container over there.
I don't know anyone like this, mister. Maybe he's one of Mr. Everett's fancy friends. He knows all kinds of fancy people with suits and purdy carriages.
He really feels very uncomfortable discussing matters related to Everart with you.
Tell me about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Tell me about Everart.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everart would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
Tell me about Renee.
The night guard. He was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker. Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
I'm off. I don't think that helped too much. Just confirmed the whole drug trade thing. So there's a lot of things I'm going to be doing in the next episode. Confronting pigs and doing the meeting. And I'm going to need to pass some time, so it means I'm probably going to play a board game with Kim or read one of my books. So guess we'll find out what happens next time.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks. The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders, hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara, and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
Whatever's hidden here is hidden well. Concentration isn't enough. Only a trained accountant with a background in logistics would be able to really make sense of it. However, there is a little handwritten note stuck on the side of the drawer.
It appears to be a to-do list written in large, uneven capital letters. Remember, Leo, Everart's shoes, special whirling borscht, water Everart's plants, sweep office floor, more banners. All items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled.
Look, Kim, a to-do note with a list of errands for Everard.
One of his aides must have left it. Nothing incriminating here.
The special borscht seems a bit odd in the list.
Yeah, nothing incriminating?
Remember, Leo, all items on the list have been crossed out, and the note itself is crumpled. The drawer slides shut smoothly.
I think it's worth it to confront somebody about this. Leo, we got some spraining to do.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're probably... Oh, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. I almost forgot about the borscht.
And what was that about the borscht?
Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
What do you mean by taking the soup for the men? Is it for striking?
Yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags.
Hold up, who makes it at the whirling?
Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad.
Something's off about this borscht. I'm gonna look into it.
Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along. One more door. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character. Some doors will forever remain closed, even if every single other door will open at one time or another. Maybe to a key, or maybe to some sort of tool meant for opening doors. But this one will never accede to such commands. A realization crucial to personal growth. Crucial.
Skills Psyche white checks unlocked. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna leave it there for today. Hey, what's over here? I never even noticed that. Some change. Alright, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. We got plenty to do next time, so I'll be back again at 3 p.m. Pacific time next Saturday. If you want to finish it up, I'm gonna skip the Saturday after that. But, we might be, probably not. I don't think we'll be able to finish it next Saturday. And yeah, I'm going to be gone the 25th, so... Anyway, we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.